Hey, Kristen here. I am going to be sharing with you how you set up a Facebook group and then other tips and strategies to make your Facebook group be really successful and have good engagement. So let me start screen sharing and we'll get started. Actually, I'm going to stream it into Facebook first. Okay, so the first thing I do is I share on the live and then I'm going to share it to my group. Just give me 1 second to go live in here. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me just go ahead and start sharing. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, it's still redirecting to Facebook Live. Let me just make sure we're in there. Okay, looks like it's in Facebook Live now. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we want to do, if you haven't created your Facebook group yet, is you're going to go into Facebook. There are several ways to do this, but at the very top of the screen, it says groups. It's the icon with the multiple people. If you click on that, on the left-hand side, it says create new group. So go ahead and select that if you haven't done this step yet. And then you create your group name. So you want it to be something memorable and hopefully that's connected to you or what you're working on. And the main things to know is for your privacy, you either want it to be public, meaning everybody can see it, but they can also see all of your content. So most of the cases, a group isn't public. Your page would be public if you have a page. And just to go into that, you don't have to have a page in a group, but some people do because the page is sort of that place where people can find your business. You can share general content, and then you try to have people join your group for more of an intimate conversation and sharing so that it's able to be found by other people, but you know who's in the group. Okay, so I normally put it private so that you can find it, but it's not, you know, people can't see the content unless I've allowed them in. So anyways, you just create the group. Once it's created, then we're going to go into the group and I'm going to show you some tips and strategies to make your group everything you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the Tackling Your Tech group, which this is live streaming in right now. Okay, the first things to know is your group is first going to have facebook.com/groups, and it's just going to have some number at the top. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go and change that. And so you're going to scroll down on the left and you're going to go into your, let's see, your settings right here. And then right at the top under settings is name and description. You're going to click that and you're actually able to, oops, sorry, your name's already that, but you're actually trying to change your, sorry, let me just put this up a little bit higher. You are trying to change your URL. Oops, let me cancel. That was the wrong thing. Right here, I'm sorry, under customize group. You want to change your web address because even though your name is what you've created, see how your before your web address, I've already changed mine, was a big long number and I don't want that. So this is where you want to change your web address to exactly the name of your group or as close as you're able. So for instance, for my podcast, Building a Life You Love, that group is not available because someone already has that. So then it's Building a Life You Love podcast, right? So just make it super clear for people. And then you're just going to save that setting, okay? I've already done that, so I don't need to. The next thing I would tell you about groups is some people want to know, how do I set up a group so that I can ask people questions? You know, I can make sure that they've been vetted, if you will. So let's look at that. And then you also want to set up group roles. And this is basically where you tell people what they can do or not do inside of this group. And so actually both of those are right here. Member questions are right under settings on the left. So let me go back just so we can see where I was at. Okay, so on the group, oops, sorry, let me go back in the group. I left. In the group, if you just look on the left-hand side, you're under your admin tools, there's member questions right here. So you just click on it and you want to create a member question, okay? So you can create a question and you can create checkboxes so people can answer something like, do you own a business? Are you thinking about starting a business? You know, maybe their years of education, whatever it is you might want to ask. Or you can do multiple choice or a written answer. And so what I like about questions, and some of you are probably in groups that already do this, You can find out a little bit more about people or their needs. And so I'll show you what I've set up so far. Exit. I said, what are 2 of your biggest tech or online tool challenges, right? So that I can get that feedback from people as they come into the group, and then I can help address those challenges they're having. The second thing is ask people if you can add them to your email list. So this is a great way as you're adding people to make sure that you can add them to your email list so that you can reach them a different way if they're not active in the Facebook group. So this is where you add questions, and you can have more questions. But basically, member questions are questions that you'd ask before they would be joining the group. And then if you go a little further down on the left, that's group roles. So this is where you want to put something like, you have to be kind and courteous, no promotion or spam. So if I click it, it starts this out. But what I would say is start with one of these, but then you want to add, more. Look, you can add additional ones. So in one of these, I would start with one and then add your roles. You don't need to add, 20 lines, but think of like the top 2 to 4 things that you want people to know, and I would add that in here. So for instance, the no promotion or spam, I would have a line that says, we don't allow that unless we post a certain day or post that you're allowed to promote yourself in that post. Of course, note on your little information, being kind and courteous and respectful to each other. And then, obviously no hate speech or bullying or meanness, or else of course you can kick them out of the group. So just enter this information. I still have to do it for myself, and then just hit create. And then those group roles will be available to the group to see what the rules are. So that's it for group roles. And then the next thing, let's see, that I want to show you is if you go back to the main part of your group. Oops, sorry about that. Then let's say that you start a post, or you already have posts in there. So like I could go down to this one that was about today's, what I'm doing right now. And let's say that, it keeps going down lower on the page, or maybe you have older content that you want to highlight. You can right click the 3 dots at the top of the post, and then you can say pin to featured. So it'll show up at the top of the page. And so this now, if I pin it, it'll go to the very top. So I'll show you. Okay, so see, it shows right here in the featured area, and it will be the most recent thing because I just pinned it last. And then the nice thing is you can unpin this later. You can move it or unpin it. So that's nice because if you have a lot of content, it's hard sometimes to find things. And this way people can find exactly what you want them to find on that given day or that given week. So I recommend you pin things regularly that are important for the group members to see. Now, the next thing that sometimes people don't know how to set up are what's called guides now. It used to be called units, or you might think of it as like a module. And so what this is it allows you to organize your content sort of like, a learning program, right? A course. And so I'm going to click on it. I've just started mine. But so far in here, I have guide 1, and I could rename this. And then I have Gmail tips and strategies, and then save time with these tips. But in other words, I can start having guides for using email. Then I could have one for how to design graphics using Canva. I could have another guide that's setting up email leads and pop-ups and lead magnets. So see, I can group the content based on these different guides or modules. But you don't have this to start with. You have to go in and change your settings. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. Okay, so on the left-hand side, right, in your settings or your admin tools, you are going to scroll down and you're going to look at your group type. Let's see. Go into settings. Oh, sorry, you're in admin tools. Go into settings from there. Okay, and then let's see. Oops, actually, wait, where don't I see it? Let's see. I just did this a little bit ago, but of course now I can't see it. Okay, let's see. Oops, nope, that's not it. Sorry, I think it's actually in the middle. Sorry about that. So when you're under admin tools, go to settings and you scroll down the page. I was looking for it on the left. So it is under, just past it, I think. Oops, is this it? Let's see. here we go. Sorry, group type. So group type is under admin tools settings and then customize group. So you scroll down to the second area. Group type, if you click on this, the default would be general, but general doesn't allow you to have those guides. So you can pick which one of these fits best for what your group is doing. But if you wanted to have these guides, or they used to be called units, I think, you're going to need to select social learning, because that'll give you that feature. And then you go ahead and select save, which I've already done. So once you do that, when you go back to, the main page, your main group, that is when you'll now get to see the, I don't know why I keep doing that, should have clicked home. That's when you'll now see guides. Nothing will be there, but you can either go to the guide page and then you can create a guide, or what's super cool is if you go into discussions and you've already started saving content related to the guide, like PDFs, handouts, videos, then what I can do is I can actually, let's see, I'm looking for my live stream. Okay, so I can take this content, it's a video of how to live stream your Facebook video, and then I can right click the three dots, and then I can actually switch this to say add post to guide, which I think is awesome because you don't have to create all new content. You can implement this guide feature and then put things you've already done in the past into these guides now. Okay, so then so I guess I need to create a new guide first. So let me go do that step. Okay, so go back to at the top and go into your guides, and then we're going to create a new guide, and we're going to call this one live streaming. Oops. Okay. And then that's it. I've created the new guide, but I don't want to create any content right now. So I'm just gonna get off of this area and close it. Now, if I go back to my discussion, I should now be able to add that live streaming video to that guide. So let me just scroll down real quick. Okay, here it is. So now we're going to, oops, let me just go a little higher so we can see it. Okay, so now add post to guide, and then I can click live streaming in Zoom, and I'm just going to title this how to live stream into Facebook. Okay, and then that lets you add that. Okay, and then the next thing that I want to show you is, let's say that you already have a Facebook page like I talked about, and then you're creating, and you want to connect it to your Facebook group. So I just want to show you really quick how to do that. So I'm going to go into one of my pages that's not related to this. And what you can do is you can actually create a link at the top of your page. So right here, you can actually add a link to your actual group. But of course, the default doesn't always have that here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your settings on your left-hand side. Let's just see real quick. And you're going to change that. You're going to go into your templates and tabs. Sorry about that. And then in here, you can do two things. One, you can change your template. If it's standard, it doesn't usually come with that group link like I was talking about. So you can actually change this to let's see, one of them is shopping, which definitely adds that guide, or I'm sorry, the group, or you can add some of these other ones that also have that button in the template. But the other thing you can do under tabs, if you scroll down, is you can either enable that groups, right, to be on and to show. If it's not enabled, you need to go ahead and turn it on. And then you should see that at the top of your page that we were just on. So let me go back to this. And if you then add your group, I'm going to click it here. I don't have it added yet. Then I can link to my group. So in this case, I could click link to Tackling Your Tech and say link, and then that will show up at the top of my page. Now it's not showing up here because I need to go reorder the page, but you can see right here, this lets me link to these different pages right here. Okay, and that is it. I just wanted to show you that quick little trick because some people have pages and groups. And what we want to do is, if you have both, you want to take people from your page and move them into your group for that more intimate conversation. And, it's a little bit more private, so people are more likely to share and engage in that, that area. So that's it for today. I just wanted to go over the Facebook groups and how to use them. If you have additional questions about groups, I would love to hear them and then answer those in the comments below in the video that's in the group. Hold on one second.